So now, let me introduce you to another friend, ginger. This pretty little herb is considered one of the world's favorite medicines. It's native to southeastern Asia, India, and China, where it's a staple in the diet, and it's been long valued for its culinary and medicinal properties. A common article of medieval and Renaissance trade, it was actually used to fight the plague. And another little tidbit. So in English taverns and pubs in the 19th century, barkeepers put out small containers of ground ginger for people to sprinkle into their beer, hence the origin of ginger ale. Now, to further prove what an old-timer this herb is, Confucius had every dish he ate spiced with ginger. Now, ginger has a long tradition of alleviating gastrointestinal distress, and it soothes the intestinal tract. It's also excellent for stimulating the appetite and the immune system. And anything that stimulates the immune system is good for our bodies. It's also an anti-inflammatory, helps with arthritis. It's very effective for motion sickness. And in some studies, it's been shown to be even more effective than Dramamine. So you should keep it with you at all times. It's great for colds accompanied by a cough. What I do with ginger is make a tea. It's very, very simple. You take a cup of boiling water, you pour it over 2 tablespoons of freshly grated ginger, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then you can strain out the ginger. Sometimes I don't strain out the ginger, I just chew on it. If you add honey and lemon to that same tea, it'll help to relieve gas, bloating, and menstrual cramping. Now, as you can see, obviously, the ginger is a very, very interesting looking root. So there are so many dishes you can add it to. It's great in rice and grain dishes, casseroles, soups, meats, fish, and veggies. It's just endless. However, it can be potent, so don't add too much of it. Now, myself, I love to cook, I love to cut, peel it, and I love to smell and experience the ginger. However, if you don't want to be bothered or you simply just don't have the time, you can buy the jars of chopped or grated ginger that are convenient and wonderful. You just have to open the jar, toss a little bit in everything. It'll be easier for you actually to make the tea as often as you need to. And of course, don't forget to have a gingerbread cookie with that tea. Now, I have another great way for you to enjoy ginger, and that's crystallized or candied ginger. You can find this at any supermarket. It's very easy to find. These are great to pop if you suffer from motion sickness. You should keep these with you. They're also a great little sweet treat if you have a sweet tooth. Parsley. Parsley is such a household name. It's native to the Mediterranean region. The ancient Greeks actually held parsley to be sacred, using it to adorn winners of athletic competition and also to decorate the tombs of the deceased. I don't know if that's such a great tidbit. But prior to it being a food, it was an important medicine. It's a good source of vitamin C, folic acid, magnesium, calcium, potassium, zinc, and iron. And it's also a very good source of fiber. Does a lot of stuff, this parsley. It's got a lot going on. Now, there are 2 types of parsley, the Italian flat leaf and the curly. I'm actually very partial to the Italian flat leaf. It's more fragrant, a little less bitter, and it has a stronger parsley flavor than the curly. But again, the best way to use this herb is to chop it up and put it in the food after the food is prepared, because when you cook it, you destroy all the vitamins and minerals. It's the heat that does that. Now, it's also great with potatoes, eggs, fish, pasta, soup, vegetables. You can freeze it and take it out before you need it. So there's really no excuse not to use parsley because it's great in everything. So now we move on to, last but not least, the lesser well-known turmeric. Now, turmeric is a native of Indonesia and southern India, and it's a member of the ginger family. As you can see, it's a beautiful orange-colored spice, and you'll recognize it from the wonderful Indian dishes that I'm sure you've all enjoyed. However, it's delicious in many other dishes as well. The flavor's warm, peppery, a little bitter, and the fragrance is a bit like orange and ginger. Turmeric was traditionally referred to as the Indian saffron due to its deep yellow-orange color. But actually, Indian saffron is very expensive, so turmeric's a great alternative. It is the major ingredient in curry powder and is used in mustard as a coloring agent. The yellow pigment in turmeric has all the healing properties. That's called curcumin, which you may have heard of before because cumin's another wonderful Indian spice. It has great antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, and numerous studies have compared it to the over-the-counter ibuprofen, which I know all of you have taken, And turmeric has worked just as well without the toxic side effects of using ibuprofen over a long period of time. Now, for inflammation and pain, you can make something called a poultice. I'll tell you what that is. It's actually a warm mass of powder or the chopped herbs. Take it in a nice cheesecloth and just rest it over the problem area, the inflammation. Very, very helpful. And research on this herb is also very promising regarding cancer. Studies have found that turmeric can help protect against cancer and even slow the growth of tumors. Now, other areas where turmeric are beneficial, the itises, which are the inflammatory conditions, arthritis, tendinitis, bursitis. It's also good for heart disease, high cholesterol, colic in children, gallstones. Now, I believe the best way to experience the benefit of any herb is to make it a staple in your diet. And I'll say this about every herb or spice I ever talk about. Put it in everything you can. Sprinkle a little here, sprinkle a little there. You don't even have to tell your family they're eating it. It's because sometimes if they're eating something they're not familiar with or they're hesitant to try new things, they may never try it. They may be like, oof, don't want that. So just throw it in and don't tell them. Throw it in soups, mix it in vegetables. If you make eggs, tacos, meatloaf, or even the wonderful tofu versions, egg salad, rice, grains, throw all the herbs in. And any of them are great in lentils, especially the turmeric and the parsley and the garlic. Now, as I mentioned, the best way to reap the benefits of all these wonderful herbs is to eat them. However, if you need a higher dosage for a specific ailment, they're also available in capsules and tinctures. Now, tinctures, I'm sure you've seen these little bottles in your health food store. Tinctures are my favorite way of taking and giving herbs. I find that people sometimes find it easier to put a few drops in water rather than getting someone to swallow a pill. Now, keep in mind, it's important to see an herbalist or holistic practitioner to find out how much you need for your specific condition. Now, here's what you need to do. You need to go into your kitchen and you need to throw out any dried herb that has been there for more than 6 months. You know, the cinnamon that's been there for 2 years that you haven't replaced, it just sits there. Replace them all. They should be replaced every 4 to 6 months. But if you use them daily, you won't have to worry about that because by the time 6 months comes, they'll be all used up and you'll be ready to buy new ones. Now, I don't care what you're cooking. Try to find a way to incorporate these and the many, many, many other herbs that are out there into every meal. And I really hope this encourages everyone to start an herb garden. Not only do you get the benefits of fresh organic herbs, but you get the added benefit of being in nature. So that's it for today. And remember, you can go the same old way or you can learn something new by taking the alternate route. Thanks for joining me.